Should we crack a cold one?
Yeah.
There's nothing in here yet, but soon. Oh, that's probably nice and loud. Sprite, the official drink of today's episode.
Not a sponsor. Hi, and welcome to Hardly Working, the podcast about life, love, and labor, hosted by the couple that works, plays, and stays together. I'm Kelly, and this
is SP. You're introing me now?
That's right.
Wow.
Ooh.
Welcome to another home show, everyone.
Home show. Cheers.
Can't really cheers like that. Ooh, look at your nails, girl.
Oh, yeah,
Show them off for the
nails,
cams.
They move. They're cat eye. They sparkle. They're Christmas. They're giving Christmas.
They're giving Christmas. You
We're
know what
drinking our-
I was giving this week?
What?
Thanks. Giving.
I hear that. This is Sprite, by the way. Can you hear
Oh,
it?
yeah, it is for YouTube monetization in the future. It's just Sprite. Okay, I am SP, and here's the deal. Everyone is sick.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Except for
us so far. Oh,
We're the same person. Said the same thing at the same time.
I
You're
know.
welcome.
We just co-host the show with ourselves. I will say this, though. It's been a wild week, which it kind of always is, but this week is different because people truly have been so sick.
Really sick.
And couldn't make it to the studio this week because it just wasn't the wise decision with all of the gigs that Kelly has coming up and I have coming up too.
Yeah.
So we are giving you another home show.
Home show against our most boring wall there ever was.
It is the only boring wall that we have.
It's true.
It is really true. We've got scuff
No.
marks.
That's from the table.
From the chairs. From the chairs. We have just a line behind you that I don't know why it's there.
I know why it's there.
But we also do have some of your Lego sets here. So it is a little bit of a perk.
Yeah, I don't really know what you can and can't see. You can tell me. But I have some of my favorite Legos here. You can't see my top shelf, which is my favorite Legos, but we'll show you later. But yeah, can I talk about them?
Mm-hmm.
I got my lovebirds here.
Yep.
You see my little lovebirds? They're my favorite because they move. The little lovebirds. I built those because my daughter wanted them. I didn't wait for her. I built them on my own. I'm a terrible mom. Don't
She was
worry.
pretty bitter about it.
She still is. But I bought us polar bears to build this year, so we're going to do that.
Nice.
I have my up house, which I think is really cool. My arboretum, which was like the most fun Lego build. If you're looking for a really fun Lego to build, that's it because it's fun, it's pretty, it's different, it's gorgeous. And the backside, which I can't show you, lots of plants.
It is probably the best. Yes. Yeah, go for it.
Have my friends Lego. The Chandler Bing right here.
Rest in peace. Now, hold on. Before we move on.
But wait, yeah, I moved this one out here recently because
he
of
died.
Matthew Perry. Yeah.
He passed.
Yeah.
He unintentionally unalived himself.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted you to pause for the last one, and I know if you're listening, it's not going to mean as much to you, but the next one, if you can take it down.
I can.
To show it off a little bit. It is from quite possibly the first episode of our show, 19 episodes ago. This is, it may just be hanging here next to our Sprites. This is the world's largest, smallest Lego set ever. This was the set that I bought for Kelly, not knowing just how minuscule the pieces were going to be. Oh, and the lights are on. Turn it so everybody can see.
I don't want to break it. This took forever.
Love it. Right to your camera. Tell us what we're seeing.
This is the tiniest Lego build you've ever seen. Oh, can you look at this way? Can you see the waterfall that's lit up? There's koi fish in here. It's like an Asian styled.
It's like a Japanese temple style.
Japanese temple. It probably is a Japanese temple. It's like a bridge
bonsai
underneath.
garden kind of thing.
Yeah, you got these beautiful pink trees up top, which I love.
In a floating city.
Floating city, yeah. And there's.
Which is held up by the waterfalls.
Yeah, that light up. Can you see him? I don't actually know. We could put this on a little turntable thing that we could show people. But it is the tiniest Lego I've ever built. It took stinking forever.
It's pretty cool. And clearly you did it a long time ago because it's already dusty.
I know.
So that means, it's months old now.
I don't know how you dust Legos, if anyone knows.
I think you need condensed air in a can. What is it called?
I feel like that would break up. That Lego set is like it's called condensed air. It's so fragile.
But you couldn't use it like a duster on it because
Yeah,
that would definitely break
Swiffer.
it. Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Okay, how do I get comfortable again? Okay, but that's my Legos.
Yeah.
And on the very top shelf, which you can't see, is two of my Harry Potter ones. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd, but I built the Weasleys.
Wizard and Wheezes?
Yeah, it's
Wiz
like
and Wizards?
yeah, it's you can't see it. It's the Weasleys, Wiz and Wheezes. shop.
Is that in Diagon Alley?
It is.
In the lore?
Yeah. Later on in the series. And then we have 12 Grimwald Place, which is so fun because it moves. It's so great.
If we have time later, we'll pull it down.
But those are some of my favorite Legos that I have.
Oh my gosh. Code Red, everybody.
Is there a spider behind me?
No.
Yes, there was, wasn't there?
No. What is that?
Oh my God.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
We went out to storage earlier today. It's a mosquito. I just saved your life.
Thank
Did
you
you
so
know
much.
that the clip of you talking about your mosquito bites on TikTok is
Has
like
a ton of.
tens of thousands of views? That was the biggest mosquito I've ever
You
seen.
just flicked it in.
I had to get it off my hand. What was I supposed to
Go
do?
grab a paper towel.
Oh, I don't know where it is now. It's gone.
I'm going to vacuum later.
You're missing the point. I saved your itching life. Thank you very much. Moving on to my side. You saw the beautiful Legos on her side. You get to check out my beautiful side, which has this amazing door. Yeah, not very exciting over here, but we didn't want to shoot another cozy, comfy one on the couch, so we switched to our, as we said, blank wall here.
Yeah.
We've got plenty to do, plenty to talk about. We've got unpopular opinions. We've got quite a few stories that I'm very excited about, and some things from our life that happened just today that I heard you're incorporating in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are you talking
Was
about?
I supposed to prepare for this?
I thought you meant something that happened in our life that I was incorporating into our life. And I was like, what did I do?
But speaking of our lives, I do have to give a shout out to the one true keeper of all correctness, and that's your brother Ryan. Because a couple episodes ago, I don't remember the context.
I feel like it was the last episode.
It may, I don't know. I don't remember. But I had said at some point that Ryan was, and will always be right. And Ryan, who's delightful.
Oh, you was the last one. We were talking about gears. We were talking about Coltrane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was why. It's delightful and often right and never misses an opportunity to make an awesome joke.
God, it was so good.
I don't think it was Thanksgiving, was it? No, it was a couple days before Thanksgiving. We were hanging out and he brings out these buzzers, like game show style buzzers that you can like record something like or whatever. And he is like doing this whole lead up to it. And then he puts it down on the table and he hits it. And out of nowhere comes my voice saying, Ryan was, and will always be right, or something like that. And it was so shocking.
It was.
So jarring to hear my voice come out of something that I wasn't a part of. I was so confused. I was like, I have to get this on film. So check this out right now. Ryan, what did you say about this buzzer? I could clip it.
Ryan was, and will always be right.
Amazing! It was awesome. It was
pretty
mind-blowing. Cool. And now it's might forever be part of the family.
Yeah.
I know if Ryan has his wish, we'll always have reminders of how great and how smart and how right he constantly is.
Yeah. I mean, he is pretty great and smart and normally is right, but not always. Do you hear me? Not always. Just kidding.
So shout out to you, Ryan, for actually clipping that out and making it happen. It was
so good.
The hardest I've laughed in a long time.
Truly.
Speaking of laughing hard, though, I have been laughing so freaking hard with you pretty much every single night.
That's right. I'm just kidding.
Because you're so funny. We stumbled upon a little show that if you grew up in the 90s, you probably watched when you were homesick. It's called Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I guess they redid it with Aisha Tyler as the host instead of Drew Carey.
Yeah.
And Drew Carey was already at least the second host. I don't know who the original.
It was a British person.
Yes. I don't know who he was.
No.
Is whatever. But it's pretty much the same people you grew up with. It's Colin Mockery, Ryan Stiles, Wayne Brady, and then usually a guest.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Proops, Greg Proops. I always forget who's the Survivor host and who's the improv comic.
It's not Jeff, it's the other one.
It's some
Greg
Proops. Anyway, there's always a ton of different people. But if you haven't, watched those in a long time,
it's funny.
Make yourself a little drink if you're allowed to, if you're a drinky person. Go to YouTube, type in Whose Line Is It Anyway, full episodes.
It's great.
You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
It's kind of become part of our nightly ritual.
Yeah. It's been very, very fun.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
Anything else from this week that's worth mentioning for you before we jump into the show?
Well, my grandma was in town, which was my favorite part of Thanksgiving. One of these days, I hope to just be able to share a little bit about her and her story on this podcast. And she's a crazy story.
Well, give me the highlights right now.
Highlights.
Like the headlines.
My grandma is an immigrant who immigrated from Germany.
Originally, yeah.
Originally. She's also Jewish, and the highs. How much of this do I give? She basically, at like 5 or 6 years old, her family had to like quickly leave Germany
Flee
or else
and
like
escape.
flee and escape on like the last boat out of Germany where they lived
In the 40s.
in the 40s, or else they would have been put into a concentration camp. And the only reason why they didn't, there's lots of details. The only reason why they didn't is because her dad had some friends in the military who gave them like literally 2 days and was like, and if you're not gone in 2 days, like we have to take you.
I will say this. One, it's a remarkable story of a terrible time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate stories like this because anything that gives me perspective is something that I find useful in my life. So when I think about Brooklyn and like, you know, I start feeling like, gosh, it just sucks so bad that she has to, you know, drive so far for this stuff, or her parents live an hour away, all that stuff. I'm like, at least she didn't grow up in Germany in the 40s. Like there's so much good that's happened. Well,
yeah,
it's easy to remember or think about the bad stuff that's currently happening, but there is, like your cousin Amber was saying recently, she was like, there's so much beautiful and good about life. Shout out to Amber. It was very fun hanging out with you guys. But yeah, so one day we'll get, I want to get Grandma on the podcast. Not necessarily on the podcast, but shoot her.
I recorded her.
Film her.
I filmed her a couple of years ago prior to her going into a pretty intense surgery that obviously she made it through. At the time, we didn't know.
It was a pretty bad hangnail. We weren't sure if it was going to.
Yeah, but I recorded her story, and she just talked to me for hours. You said pretty bad hangnail?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? I thought you said hang. Oh my gosh, it wasn't that. But I did record her story. It was very cool. Some other highlights are, well, I won't say highlights. I'll say, if you want to hear about the story, let me know, because I would love to tell it, but I don't want to bore people if it's not interesting. I think it's very interesting. I will
Moving
say,
on.
It was interesting that I
Not even a laugh.
No, because I'm talking about my grandma, and it's so emotional.
It's tough crowd today.
But she said something at dinner yesterday that you talked about later on in the day, where she literally said, and she meant every word when she said, my Aunt Alice saved my life twice. And it was an interesting thing because it's very true. She's the one who paid for them to like, that's how they were able to afford getting to Shanghai. And then that's how they were able to get out of Shanghai and come to America. Crazy story, guys. She's a cool lady though. And so she lives in Idaho. She comes out only one time a year. It's Thanksgiving. She stays for a week. So we get all the time we can. And you've probably never heard of cribbage, but we play cribbage. We eat liverwurst sandwiches. It's a very German thing.
Very odd.
You hate them. I get why.
It just weirds me out. It's not that I hate them. But I will say this. You mentioned, you know, your grandma telling us the story of a woman who literally saved her life twice. Not the way we talk about it. Like, oh my gosh, you saved my life. I almost forgot my homework.
Yeah.
Literally saved her life. And we talked about this on the drive home. It's just weird. I'm not sure if it's because we're all, I'm painting with a broad brush here, but we're all pretty self-absorbed and really kind of only can see and care about mostly our own lives and selves and the direct people around us, or if we just can't separate what's real from what's not real in this day and age, or if we're so just changed from what we used to be to what we are now, being connected to the internet and all the world's pain and suffering. I don't know what it is, but we were sitting at a table with a woman who was telling us that her life was saved twice by somebody. Quite literally, life saved. So if nothing else, you're talking to a person who almost lost their life twice, for real. The only life you get as far as we know. And it was just kind of, it became this like little part of the conversation we just quickly moved on from. Not because we wanted to or didn't want to or anything, just kind of naturally moved somewhere else. But it's just wild to me to think that someone can say like, I almost didn't survive twice, quite literally.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, totally. And there's so many ripples. But like, I think we're all just so jaded from whatever it is that we can hear a story or we can hear a prompt of like, this woman saved my life twice. And no one's like, are you serious? Tell me the story. Like we just keep moving. It's weird. And I hope for you, for me, for our kid, especially, and for all of you, anyone who's listening, man, I hope we can just keep finding compassion and empathy and love for people and not just see people as a series of their own choices, but really care about them and love on them for who they are and the experiences that they've had or haven't had or whatever it is. But to take, I don't want to say take life more seriously, but I think just find ways to love on people more and care about their stories. Yeah. When I was in ministry, one of the things that people like my bosses would tell me is that like everyone wants to be known, like to feel known and seen. And I think that's true of most people. But I also think in this, like, let's just call it an influencer culture. It's like the only person who needs to be known and seen is me, like whoever the me is. Cause it's like, look at me, look at me. But we're not taking a lot of opportunities to look for people who aren't, you know, joining us on the live stream 7 hours a day, every day. Like, so I don't know, just just look out for each other, I guess is what I'm feeling as we
Yeah.
head into the holiday season.
And and I'll piggyback off that and say, in my industry, we would say every life has a story. Like you never know what they're going through. And so like take that time. It's a great transition before I start crying about my grandma because I stinking love her. Is speaking of that,
Yes.
we're doing something different this year, which is so old news because it's so viral, TikTok and everyone's done it. But we made our very own delivery snack cart
Yeah.
outside our house for all the people that are delivering tons and tons of packages to our house and other houses around. But
Which is hysterical because the amount of packages that comes to our house is just relentless year
yeah,
round.
it's just work packages
Yeah.
and packages for B and for me and for you. And
But
for
the people who are delivering throughout the year, even though it's the same amount for us as it is the rest of the year, they're obviously doing a lot more work around the holiday time. So yeah, you put together a little cart of, it's got like sodas, waters, Gatorades,
Liquid
chips,
IV.
liquid IVs,
cookies, snacks.
cookies, Nutter Butters,
It's just
all sorts of
snackies.
things. Very sweet little thing that you did. So
Someone took. I'm such a not a child. I'm such like a emotional person because we had someone finally came and used it, and we waited a second because I didn't want to be that awkward person that's like, take something.
what did you take?
Yeah. So I waited a second, and then I went out and got my packages, and he was down like the way a little bit, and he turned around. He was like, "Thank you so much," and I was like, "You're welcome." But it was such a sweet moment.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I like
I'm glad we did that.
personal moments with people. So if you're a delivery person delivering to us, please take as much whatever you need.
Please come to 2252
No.
Elot Street. I grew up on a street called Elot once.
Yeah, I was like, you don't know who lives
I
there.
grew up in a lot of streets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is really cool. One more thing before we jump into the show.
Sure.
Proper. If you haven't seen the new Trolls movie,
You should see it.
it's worth your time.
Yeah. was great.
At least the last two. I can't remember the first two very well. It was
Has there been 4?
I think so. There's at least 3. I think there's been 4.
Should keep
Couldn't tell
coming.
you for
They're
sure.
great.
But our kid loved him. I loved him. It was very fun. It was a good time. If you're looking for just some family fun or just something that's not too serious.
If you're looking for NSYNC to reunite,
Yeah, that was a
Great.
big fun little part. A big fun little part. I'll also say this. We're definitely looking forward to Wish. I know you're going to take Brooklyn to go see Wish here soon.
Yeah.
So we may be telling you how great Wish is
Yeah.
in a week or so.
yes.
You know what you didn't get to do this week, though? You didn't get to see the 5th Hunger Games movie.
I know.
You
but
did watch 4 of them.
I did watch 4. I'm seeing the 5th one on Wednesday.
Where was I? Was I working this weekend?
This was last week. I think so.
Oh, yeah. I think I had that.
Yeah, you had that gig.
That one gig.
I went
yeah.
out with Ashley May, and you did
Yeah, so
a gig.
Kelly knocked out 4 full feature films. And
Hunger Games.
just in time to have
See the prequel.
We canceled that for some reason, though. We were like, we were doing work on the house. That's why.
Yeah.
But you're going to see it this week.
I'm so excited.
So we'll tell you all about it. Those movies don't do anything for me. I don't know about you, who's listening and watching. They're kind of intense. Like,
Kids do die. It's Hunger Games.
it doesn't do anything for me.
Well,
I'm like, Trolls 4, great.
yeah, Sean's coming. My brother's coming with me. He's gonna come and join.
You guys have a good time.
It's so funny though, because I'm still the only. Well, now there's 2 of us, but as of yesterday, I was the only person in the theater.
Yeah.
and the only seat, like right in the middle. It's like so excited, and Sean was like, "I'll go with you." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "I'm not sitting next to you. Though. I'll give us a space." They're recliner seats. So I was like, he's literally like, "Yeah, I'm going right next to you." So if you want to join us to see the new Hunger Games movie, I'll be in Porter Ranch at
There
that
you
movie
go.
theater.
Boom.
Text me. I'll tell you when.
We'll save you a seat if we can.
I mean,
It was sad
if there's any left.
when you pull up your AMC app and it's like an arena full of seats and there's one highlighted and it's yours.
It's mine. Right in the middle.
Some poor AMC employee's like, this loser.
That's right. But, I mean, it's in the afternoon. So
This
it
is your
makes sense.
first, well.
It was going to be
it
my first solo
was.
movie, and now I have a
Dang.
buddy.
Kelly's never been to a solo movie.
No.
I've
Why?
been to many solo movies and they're pretty great. You can feel sad sometimes, but they're pretty great. All you need is you. Because, sorry, PSA time.
TED Talk.
All you need is you. Because, look, as much as we want to act like we have another person in the world, they've got them and you've got you. You come
That's
in
true.
by yourself, you go through it with some other people, but at some point you got to go see a movie by yourself. It shouldn't be sad.
Maybe one day I will.
Maybe one.
I watch enough movies at home by myself.
Lord knows that's true. Well, speaking of movies, you ready for some unpopular movie opinions?
Are they specifically movie opinions?
Not at all.
then yes.
It's a solid segue. As many of you know, unless it's your first time listening, in which case, welcome. But most of you know that a lot of the times, every episode, I think so far, we've had unpopular opinions that either we find on the internet and we send out to you to vote on, or people even send in either on our Instagram, which is at Hardly Working Insta, or you can email those to us, or stories, or anything at our email, which is hardlyworkingfans@gmail.com. Ooh, I'm excited for what's coming up in season 3 and Hardly Holidays. More on that later. This is the second to last episode of this season, just so you know. We're almost to season 3, and I'm very excited because we're making big changes in season 3. It's going to be great. Anyway, all that to say,
Looking forward to it.
unpopular opinions, we do them all the time. We like to get the conversation going and hear what you think and how you feel about them. So I've got 4 today.
Okay.
Here's the first one. If pets could talk, humans wouldn't love them as much. Are you thinking about your specific pets from the past? Because you're a cat family.
About Mocha being like, "Hey, I'm walking here."
But like, so your parents have 2 cats now.
Yeah.
If those cats could talk, what would they say?
Oh my God, I can't say that on this podcast.
My mom has a dog. If that dog could talk, what would he say? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? That's what he'd say. Who is that?
Yeah, I was like, I know your mom listens to this podcast. I think that he would talk all the time.
You think so?
Yeah. Scooter is a talker.
What about
especially with me? He's always like,
It's a spot-on Scooter impression.
I know.
But here's the deal. You come from a cat family.
I
If cats could talk, they would not be like, I missed you so much while you were gone. They'd be like, I pooped in your bed.
I have a unique.
I'm sorry. Did that happen?
It did. When
Did that happen to
I
you?
went to Japan for 2 weeks and I came back and she was mad at me.
I love that you're like, I'm not even going to tell that story.
No, because I don't need to.
I teed you up and you let it go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
tell me.
told the story. It's what happened. I went to Japan for 2 weeks and I came back, or the Dominican Republic, something, and she was mad that I had been gone. That's what cats do.
That's true.
Dogs do it too, just differently. Anyways, I think I would love them the same, because I think that if you have a good animal that you have a good connection with, in the same way that you tell me you love me all the time and I tell you that, I think they'd probably be very similar.
So you disagree?
Yeah, I think they'd.
You think you'd love them more?
I think I would love them how much I love them.
Interesting. Well, 88% of people said that they agree if pets could talk, humans wouldn't love them as much.
I don't think that's true.
I think it's true of cats, but I don't think it's true of dogs.
I don't think it's true of cats. I think you know if you like an animal when you meet it or not. You know if an animal's going to be.
Okay, so how do we feel about Scooter?
I love Scooter.
How do we feel about
Sometimes
Lucky?
I like Lucky.
How do we
Lucky's
feel
cool.
about Gracie?
Gracie can annoy the crap out of me sometimes.
You said as soon as you meet an animal, you know.
You
So I
know,
was just
Winter.
curious.
Let's
Just
talk about
curious.
Winter for a second.
Oh my gosh.
Which
do
was
you,
the cat
Do you
from
want to
hell.
tell this story or do you want me to do it?
No. Well, I'll set it up by saying this. My family became a cat family. It was a dog family, but became a cat family
Before
after
me, 'cause I'm
after
allergic.
Brandy. Well, during Brandy, but we found a stray cat. We fell in love with it. The rest was history. We had a dog. The dog died. We only got cats after that because they're way easier. Thanks for pouring me some more Sprite. But when I had a cat named Mocha, was my baby cat, and she had a brother named
Hunter?
Hunter. I was going to call him Filthy because that was his original name.
Oh.
And then we renamed him Hunter because why? Filthy?
I don't know. Filthy
Anywho,
rich.
Hunter and Mocha. Mocha died. My love, my cat that I loved so much. The best cat in the world.
I never met. It was before my time.
I know, literally the best cat in the world, though. And Hunter was around for quite some time. And after Hunter passed away, got away, ran out, probably died away because cats don't like to be around you when they're ready to die. They like to hide. My parents decided to get more cats. And so they went to the pound because they're like, we're going to go save a cat.
Gosh. Yep.
And I don't
all
know why,
flooding
but they
back.
picked this cat named Winter.
Uh-huh.
And they brought Winter home. And they never saw Winter again. They did, but he was a she.
Okay.
She would like hide everywhere.
Wait. Okay,
and she
pause.
would
Because
only.
if that's the end of the story,
No,
I'm
there's
gonna
more.
jump
I'm going to
in.
let you say the fun
Okay,
part.
great.
But this cat would like hide and would only come out at nighttime when my parents were sleeping. And my dad would tell me, he's like, I'd only see that cat when I would wake up in the middle of the night or like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'd come out to the living room and there would be Winter and then like run away, be gone, would no longer be around. Well, then I don't know what happened, but they can't find this cat. This cat is now missing. They've tried everything. They cannot find this cat. They haven't seen this cat in a few days. And I think my mom calls me. And so we go over to try to find this cat. And that's where the story really starts. Because where did we find the cat?
Good Lord. We found the cat in the chimney, not in the
Literally
fireplace.
in the chimney.
Up the chimney. Now, I am not a cat person. In fact,
He's very
I am
allergic.
very allergic to cats. But we had to come over to try to get this cat out of the chimney. Spoilers, I think they took the cat. No, did the cat get out and leave?
Yes.
Or did they take it back?
Yeah. So the joke of this story at the end is that this cat is microchipped and it belongs to my parents. So like if this cat were to be found
Oh,
and
they come
scanned,
back.
they'd be like, oh, it belongs to Mark and Melody. That's where it belongs to. And they'd bring the cat back. But this cat is escaped.
Hissing and screaming had come back. So here's what happened is that we're trying to figure out how to get this cat out. So the first thing that I do is attach my cell phone with a light in the video camera to
we
like
can
a
see.
spatula to see. So we stick it up the chimney and there's a video somewhere of the cat like in a corner, like what? And then it's like whap, 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 whap.
Like really hard.
Yes, like I didn't grow up around cats. All I know is those claws are no joke.
And before it was illegal, we didn't do it. We got the cats this way. Mocha and Hunter were declawed, so they didn't have any claws. So we had like many, many years of cats with no claws, only back ones. Like, actually, I don't think they had the back ones. But like we weren't used to that. And so Winter was the first cat in many, many years that had actual claws. And so
And boy did this cat have claws.
know how to use them.
So let me say this. I like jerry rigged something. I tried to get the cat out by putting like mittens on.
That's what you had.
Yes.
But every time you put your hands up there,
He would just
go to the other side. She would.
Yeah, and he would just bat the crap out of my hands.
Oh,
and I was like,
so fast.
even if I catch this cat, the mittens only go so far. Like this thing could really tear up my arm or bite me or what. There might be venomous. I have no idea. So we like kind of get the cat.
I think my mom ended up getting you like one of my dad's sweaters, and you put that on, and you put the gloves on too.
I looked like the Michelin Man.
It was hysterical.
And eventually we get this cat out, and then I believe it runs back in. We get it out again, and it makes a mad dash, I think, behind the couch.
Yeah.
But the real part of this, the last part of the story is it tries to get out of the house, but your parents have a gate like in front of their, not a gate, but a screen door.
Yeah.
A metal screen door. And this cat like climbs up the screen door.
And then it was me because I was
Kelly
trying to grab
thinks
the
she's
cat.
going to catch this cat.
Well, we're trying to catch the cat to calm the cat down. They're like, hey, you're okay.
When the cat goes full exorcist and starts climbing
No,
the walls and
but I'm
ceiling,
pretty
you
sure-
gotta let it go.
I'm pretty sure the cat was in my arms and then jumped out of my arms, ran up the screen door, and then turned around and jumped right at me. The whole time was spraying, like peeing everywhere.
Oh my gosh. And clawed up your arm.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then a couple days later, I think this cat got out and we never saw Winter again.
It got out. We let it out. I don't know what the
We
story
didn't let
is.
it out.
I mean, I didn't let it out.
But I will tell you, my parents were pretty happy about it. Not that we're happy about,
Losing an animal?
yeah, but this cat hated them.
Yeah, it was not a good situation.
And then they got Lucky and Gracie,
Yeah.
the seven-fingered cat. On
Yeah,
both its front
actually,
claws,
we talked
not
about
its
that.
back claws, which we learned.
We did talk about that, yes.
But anyway,
Anyway, okay, so let's move on. I'm curious, based on your background in the restaurant industry, what you think about this. Quote, "That's not my job" is a perfectly acceptable reason to not do something. Now, I'm not talking about your current business or my current business. I'm talking about like working in the service industry.
this is a tough question for me to answer because it goes against my natural work ethic that's been ingrained in me since I was a kid.
100%.
Which, like, working in my job at the level I was at, I eventually had to learn that, like, not everyone's going to have the same work ethic you do. And that's totally okay because if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. And that works in job life too. Like, if you are the one who does everything when people ask you, even if it's not in your job description, guess what? It's now a part of your job description and you can't go backwards and ask for a raise. That's not how it works. So if you take something on without first asking for that, it's yours. However, I think that people, what are they? Gen Z, millennials? I don't know.
Sure.
Whatever they are. I don't even know what we
Let's
are.
say
What are we?
We're millennials.
We're millennials? Okay, so Gen Z, Gen X.
Yeah, but just a disclaimer here. Neither of us are anti-Gen Z.
No, but there's something that has happened in that generation. I saw that a lot as I was an executive director, for goodness gracious. So like I saw it a lot of like, well, that's not my job. But I would have to say, like, it depends on what it is, but we are here for the team. And so I agree that you shouldn't put yourself in a position that forces you to take on more responsibility without appropriate compensation.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I do not believe that it's okay to just be like, that's not my job, so I'm not going to do it. Because at the end of the day, if you're working in a place, we're all working together. We're all trying to get the same thing done. I think it's appropriate to say, hey, I'm not really sure if that's like, I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be there. I'm not really sure if it's a part of my job responsibility, but I'm happy to like make it happen today.
Right.
You know, and I think there's appropriate ways to do that. I think, unfortunately, the tendency in the generations below us, and in our generation as well, I would say, is that more people, now more than ever, people are saying like, well, that's not my job. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And I look at that as like, well, you're never going to grow. But I don't think people are looking for that nowadays either. And so I think
Grow.
grow within a company. I think they're looking to clock in, clock out, and do their job. And I know, and I'm saying this, I think that this question like is diametrically
Polarizing.
opposed,
Yeah.
like to my inner
Right.
feelings
Who
of,
you are. Yeah.
I can hear it even as I'm saying it, because I truly believe that you should never do something without making sure that it's a part of your job description or that you're being compensated appropriately. And I say that because I did that to myself.
Sure.
I
think
took-
most people have.
I
yeah.
took on a whole other department without asking for any compensation. Like, and I'm happy to say that. And I would talk to them about that now too. Like, that was dumb of me. Let's be real. It was dumb of me. But there's no going back, because when I tried to go back, guess what? There was nothing that happened
Yeah.
because I'd already taken it on.
Yeah.
However, if you do want to grow within a company, I believe that it's important to be willing to do things, because if you're not willing, you probably won't be noticed and you're probably not going to grow. Because when you get to the top, it's small. There's a smaller amount of people, and you want to know that the people on your team are going to help you and support you, even when it's not necessarily their job, because you do the same for them, because there's only 4 of you.
Yeah.
So you have to pick up the slack sometimes. That doesn't mean always. That just means sometimes. That was a lot of talking. I'm sorry.
It was. Enjoy that, Sprite. I'll add some of my thoughts and try to connect them with yours too, because we have very similar thoughts on this, I think. I too definitely took on a lot of responsibility that I wasn't compensated for throughout the years of working places I did. You mentioned, if you want to grow within a company, it's no secret that that's not what people are looking for anymore. And when I say people, I do mean younger people. But I also think this. I think that every older generation has always looked down on the younger generation, saying they don't want to do things the way that we did.
Yeah.
Well, we don't, and neither does the generation after us. Like they don't want to do it the way we did it, because they can see that the way that we do stuff is becoming archaic and is outdated in the same way that we saw that about the generation above us.
Yeah, for sure.
No one's working for the same company for 60 years, retiring with their gold watch at 65 and going off into the sunset. It's not a thing. But I will say this. Well, I think you should, if you don't care about growing in a company, I think that's okay. But if you care about trying to make enough money to survive in the world that we live in, I do think that you need to be looking for opportunities that will grow and stretch and, that would grow you and make you become a better whatever the thing is that you want to do, whether that's something artistic for yourself or whether that's something working within a company. It doesn't really matter. Sure, you can say that's not my job. And I think that's a healthy, appropriate response to stuff, especially when people keep piling things on you. I think there's better ways to say it. Little side note. You can say, I have a lot of my own responsibilities that I need to take care of, and taking on this responsibility will take me away from the things that are part of my job. I think that's an appropriate and healthy way to say that. If your boss is telling you that, you can say, is that something, are you willing to, is it okay that this thing that you hired me for doesn't happen because you're asking me to do something else?
I did that a lot.
Yeah, and that puts the ball back in their court too, to be like, oh no, I just, I wanted you to do more.
I would do that with Mandy a lot, where she would talk to me about stuff and I'd be like, is that operations or is that training? And she'd be like, you're right.
Yeah.
So I think it's appropriate.
But I do think that if you have it's not my job mentality overall, even if you don't want to grow at whatever job you're at right now, it's going to prohibit you from getting somewhere in any career.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you have more?
No, go ahead. I can see you're holding something too.
I was going to say, I think what I'm having a hard time with is because now I own my own business. And so I think about a lot of times, like working with Troy.
Mm-hmm.
How many times has he Even at Haley and Derek's wedding, you know, he had like a terrible nosebleed and called you, who was there for the photo booth, and was like, "Hey, can you go greet people?"
Right.
Could you imagine if you were like, "That's not my job"?
Well, that's
Sorry.
yeah.
It's like we do that because we have a relationship with him and we love him, and of course we're gonna do anything to help him. I
Sure.
help hang signs. I'll help do stuff. Now, if he looked at me and he said, can you go bartend?" I'd be like, "It's not my
skill
job. I
set.
can't do that," you know. But I think there's a difference in. I think it's what you're saying. It's like if you want to get anywhere in life, it's not just working your way up in a ladder. It's this idea of being nice and kind. And there are certain things that some of us can't do, like aren't willing to do, or like don't have the skills to do.
Right.
Yeah, of course you can't do those things. But if we can help each other in any way, if you're wanting to get anywhere, people remember the people that are nice and kind and that go out of their way to help and to be a helper and a contributor. And they will forget really easily and be against people that choose to be like, "Sorry, it's not my job."
Yeah. So, and I understand that we run our own businesses and we're independent contractors and different stuff like that. But it is inherently who we are to be like that.
Yeah.
I honestly think probably growing up in ministry was a big part of that too. I think we're wired that way, but also it was like I was brought up in this, like, it doesn't matter if you're reared. I like that even less
The
somehow.
correct term, though. Isn't that funny?
But even if you are the person on stage that everyone is supposed to pay attention to, you're still the person who's pulling out chairs and stacking them up and putting them back.
Same.
Like it was just a part of the DNA. But I also think we're inherently wired that way. And when it comes to, if you want to have something that's your own, you don't want to be known as the person who does the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's different if you just feel like a cog in a machine who's getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
You might want to move on to a different place or position or, you know, company or something if you're feeling that way. But if you really want to excel in something that you want to do, don't be known as the person who only does the bare minimum. Be known as the person who does their job with excellence. And that might mean at times saying, of course I can do that, even though I wasn't hired to do that or whatever it was.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is if you are working a 9-to-5 job of sorts and you have a manager that's continuing to ask you to do things that are outside of your job description, they're probably, well, I can tell you they're a terrible manager and you should probably look somewhere else or talk to them about it or talk to someone above them about it, because I learned that a lot through watching people and through my own experience, that like at the end of the day, what's most important is your mental health and your well-being. And like, no one should be forcing you or pushing you to do things that like you aren't qualified to do, you aren't being paid to do, and you're not equipped or trained to do. Like it's not right and it's not fair.
Yeah, you know, as you were saying that, I was realizing we do sit in a privileged position to not have bosses except for the people that hire us.
Just kidding.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
Except for you, really. You are the boss. So I understand that that's like a privileged position to be in, although it didn't come without taking risk and all that
100%.
stuff. But I would say if you're not in that position and you're working a job that you feel like is just a job, I would say someone's bottom line is going to be affected and impacted by every decision.
Yeah.
It's either going to be the business's bottom line or your bottom line. And if it's always the business benefiting and your bottom line is always the one that's getting hurt or pushed off or put aside, you're going to quickly realize just how detrimental that is for your mental health and well-being.
And that's the most important, is that your mental health is okay.
It's true. All right. You got time for one more?
Yes.
Okay. So we're only doing 3 because I definitely want to get to stories.
Okay.
And I know you've got some stuff you want to talk about too.
Wow.
So last one.
Okay.
Married couples should use separate blankets.
You know what's funny?
What?
Is I saw a video about this. It's like there's like a certain place in the world, I can't remember where it is.
Or something?
Yeah, that does this, where they have two.
Yeah, I saw some lady like showing us her bed or something.
Yeah, they have two like duvet covers, but it's one bed, but it's two duvet covers. So they have their own blankets. I understand why that could be helpful. However, I just think that you should just size up whatever your duvet cover is.
So we haven't done that.
I know, because I should have done this last time. It's because we have Brooklinen and I love it so much, and I don't want to spend more money on buying stuff that we already have. But
Brooklinen is the nicest bedsheet that I have ever used.
Not a sponsor. Stop it.
If you want your first order from Brooklinen,
they're having a really good Black Friday sale. I think it ends today. Cyber
honestly,
Monday.
I think we got Brooklinen because I heard about it on a podcast. I think it was DLC. Shout out to Jeff and Christian, Jeff Canada and Christian Spicer. I think that's how we got started with Brooklinen.
Yeah, I don't know, but I really like it. And I just realized I said they're having a really great Cyber Monday deal, but by the time this comes out, you will have lost that. So sorry.
It's going to be Wacky Wednesday.
Yeah, but I do love Brooklyn and Wacky Wednesday. There's no discounts there.
Sometimes I just throw random stuff out there to see if you react. And like,
the problem
you don't.
The problem is that you do that all the time,
I know.
and so sometimes I just need to keep plowing through, even though I heard what you said. Because if I laugh every time you make me laugh, we'll never get through a conversation.
I think the most common question we get is, how can you guys talk so much?
It's because of him. I'm just kidding.
And the second most common question I think you get is
he always like this?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't turn it off.
He can be toned down sometimes, but what you see is what you get, people.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I hope you do too.
I do too.
He's pretty great.
I'm pretty great.
But
And so humble.
But I do not think that. I mean, here's the deal.
We should try it. We should
If
try
you
it. Whoa.
want-
Oh, man. You heard that one.
If you want to try it, we can.
Let's try it before the next episode.
You're my husband. I like being close to you.
Oh, yeah.
And
don't
I
know
like
how
being
that
able
will
to
work.
truly,
Mhm.
I like being able to put my cold feet on your warm feet.
Or a thigh or anything. And I like that too, because you run
Or
cold
very
and
cold.
I run hot.
Hot.
We're going to try it.
But I like being able to find you in the middle of the night.
If someone
I don't have scary dreams I don't have nightmares very often, but when I do, I have to be able to find you. And I
your
couldn't
cold feet have to find my leg.
couldn't imagine being in actually it'd probably be so great being in my own blanket, but I couldn't imagine and then trying to find you or in an earthquake trying to get out
Yeah.
and we're just flipping our
Yeah.
sheets.
Okay, I can't promise that we'll try it by next episode because we won't even be in our home.
What are you
for
going to do?
most.
Buy another duvet?
We have more duvets, don't we?
We're about to stay in a hotel. Is that what you're saying? So we
Yeah.
can do it there.
That's true. We can
Is
give
that
it
what
a
you were
shot.
thinking?
It's gonna be a nightmare.
I'm hoping it's a king bed.
We'll see. Anyway, we might try that. Is basically what we're saying. Whoa! Do you hear the thunder?
That's not thunder.
Seems like thunder.
Anywho, tell me your thoughts. Do you think that it's good? That was meant for the viewers at home, but
Yeah.
now I'm really asking you. Do you think you should have 2 blankets or just the one?
No, I like the upsized idea.
Yeah,
I would love like a foot more of comforter.
on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for each of us. For our
Maybe
sanity.
we just bought a new down comforter.
Yeah.
It's like I should have gotten a size up,
And we threw away the other comforter.
which was small.
It was still a queen size.
Yeah. It
It
was
still worked.
needed to go.
We'll work it out.
Anywho,
So let's move on. You've got some.
yeah, I'm really bummed
something here?
because as we started this podcast, I was like, oh, I know how I could have made this fun, and I.
Sorry, guys. You get the sucky version
I
of what
could have
this could have
I
been.
could try. I'm just not as quick as you to figure this out.
Oh, thanks
What
for
it
saying
should
that.
have been was first date question or security question.
Oh, that would have been cute.
I
How
know.
about you can ask me the question and I'll answer it like a first date
Yeah, yeah,
question.
So
But what's the premise of
okay,
this?
so listen. Today, I this is so random, but I was trying to.
Boy, it doesn't
I
matter. You
know.
had to fill out a
I had
form
to
that
fill
had
out a
security
form that had
questions.
security. I was like, what was I doing? I had to fill out a form that had security questions. Like when you sign up for a new account online, you have to put your security
So
questions
in order to get an organ donated to you, you have to fill out a certain
No,
form.
I'm totally fine. He has the problem. I'm just kidding. But I
do.
had to, you know, you have to fill out forms and you have to like fill out security questions, make it like super safe or whatever. The security questions I'm used to were like, what's your dad's middle name? What's your mom's maiden name?
Mark is your dad's middle name.
No, it's not.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it backwards.
yeah. I was like, what is his first name?
Yeah, so that's
But
what you're
those
used
like
to.
the normal ones. These ones, I started reading them and I was like, I feel like I'm on a dating show.
Ooh.
And I started saying them out loud because I was like, I wonder what he's going to say. But I want to read just a few of them to you
Okay.
because we can maybe make this like a
Here we
first
are,
date.
just sharing a Sprite together on our
Swinging a
first
Sprite.
date. What do you want to know about me?
So yeah, what's
You're a great conversationalist.
I know. What's the first name of your college roommate?
the first name of my college roommate?
Mm-hmm.
Jake.
Oh wow. If you could change any feature about yourself, what would it be? I really need to know on this.
Oh my
first
gosh,
date.
it got really deep.
I'm
I was about
telling
to tell
you.
you a little bit about Jake,
I was
but
like-
all of a sudden it was like,
Jake from
if
State Farm.
you could change something,
If you could change any feature about yourself, what would
a
it be?
physical feature.
Any feature, anything you can type in 12 characters or less.
Oh, I'd probably
That was a good one.
tone down my abs, make them like less chiseled, less visible. Sometimes you feel bad about how good you look.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
If you could have chosen a different career, what would it have been?
a different career, stay-at-home dad. I mean, not that I have a kid in this fictional situation.
Yeah, well, I'm here for the really deep questions now.
me
Who
with 'em.
is your favorite historical figure?
My favorite historical figure. My favorite historical figure
So
is the character that Chris Pratt plays in Jurassic World.
Okay. You don't remember his name, but he's your favorite?
Yep. He's the most important. Without him, we would never have made it through the dino apocalypse.
Okay. What is the name of a city you got lost in once?
You want to know the name of the city? Freaking Anaheim, Disneyland. Mom left me standing outside of the Indiana Jones ride. Not that I carry that with me to every therapist I've ever seen.
All right, let's get
which is a lot.
let's
of
get
therapists.
really deep. This is like I don't know who they think they are, but they truly think they're a dating app.
Wait, yeah. Let's keep in mind this really does feel like a first date.
Yeah, but these are literal security questions.
These are like, you
no,
forgot
I'm
your
not,
password?
I'm not asking any of the questions that we actually put as our security questions. Everyone, mom and dad, that's wondering. I'm
Brian.
not, I promise. What subject should be taught in schools that isn't already?
That isn't already.
Such a deep question.
Finance. Are you talking about like high school?
Yeah.
Finance.
Whatever school, whatever
Like,
can fit.
And by
Again,
finance, I
in
mean
12
like
characters or less.
is finance 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. Finance in the sense of like life finance. I don't need to teach you about first in, first out or anything or supply and demand. None of that stupid stuff. Stuff like
Taxes.
Here's how you pay your taxes. Here's how you rent is due.
Open a 401k.
Yeah. You know what a check is? Probably not.
Here's how interest works.
Yes.
So when you get your student loans, this is what you know.
Yeah. And so if you put your money in an interest place, because I need this class, bank, you might call it, in an interest place, and they're like, you'll get 4%. That's not 4% every month.
That's
It's
every year,
4%
over the year.
a year,
Over
which
the
is
year.
not that much. It's not that much money.
Yes, it is. 4%
Not
is like
compared to what 4% a month is.
That's
They're
true.
charging me 4.9%
But
for a car
if you took
per
this,
month.
If you took this class,
Maybe.
If you took this class, you would know that most savings account offer you like less than 1% of interest over the year. So
Well,
4% is actually very high.
At my unaccredited, publicly funded high school where I'm teaching this class, I will tell you this. This financial system is rigged. And it's not here to help you. It's not here to help you succeed. It's not here to help you buy a house.
That's true.
It's not here to do anything for you except for take your money and put it elsewhere for other people to make money off of.
So let's put our money somewhere to make money, huh?
How's this date going?
What?
How's this date going?
Got a little intense. So
yeah,
let me
but you
ask
know what?
you
That
another
wasn't
question.
a bit. That is truly how I
so
feel.
if money was no object, what would you do all day?
If money wasn't real, what would I do all day?
Yeah, if you had, it's not wasn't real. If you had tons of money, if it didn't matter, what would you do?
What would I do? Honestly, it wouldn't be different.
You wouldn't work probably. Well, you probably would actually.
Yeah, because I have this bad thing that is if I'm not working or achieving, I'm not okay. So I would probably keep doing that. This is probably a better question for you. If money weren't an option, if Gigi Rose was like, here's all the money, honey.
What would I do?
From the
I'd probably
Guggenheims.
travel everywhere.
By yourself?
No, I would take Brooklyn out of school and I would hire a tutor, like a personal tutor and nanny that traveled with us, and we would travel over the world.
Cool.
And I would figure it out with her mom and her stepdad.
And I would have to take her home every other week.
Yeah, whatever. I'd pay for them to come if they want to come too. Money was no object. You
Dang,
can't
you
stay
would
with me.
travel with
They can't stay with me. Just kidding. You could stay with me.
one country over.
No. They could do that. They should experience trips like that with Brooklyn too.
You're so giving.
If I had all the money in the world, I would give away money to people as well.
You know,
I
I'd
would-
ask you the career question that you asked me too. If you could have any career.
A singer.
Oh, really? You know, I'd
that's
asked you
not
that
like
before,
real.
and you didn't really have an
Yeah,
answer.
because it's not real. I couldn't actually be a singer.
But you could, because you're really, really
You're
good.
so kind.
I don't know. I love you, and I say that because I don't want people to think I'm crapping on you,
He is going to.
because you know how this goes with me. I don't know that you have the drive to become a singer, like the passion to like
Not anymore.
go out and do little club gigs
No,
and
it's embarrassing.
get your friends to come out and keep
Yeah.
asking them to pay for. I don't think you have that. I do, on the flip side, though, think that you have the talent
Thanks,
to do
babe.
that. And I was going to say raw talent, but it's not just raw talent because you worked on that. You took 8
Yeah.
years of vocal
Years.
lessons, which is a lot more than anyone can say that they've done for any hobby or skill. So I think you could do it, but I don't think you actually want to. If you could do it like this,
Yeah.
you would do it.
100%. Okay, I have 3 more questions.
Okay.
And
then I got
reminder,
one more
these
story
are
and
all
we'll get outta here.
security answer questions. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It might be your curry, truly.
So good.
Holy moly, it's good curry.
We'll
I'm in a
probably
hurry
make that tonight.
for that curry. You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got to go.
Okay,
This has been another
Two
episode.
more questions. What is your mother's favorite thing to do in her spare time?
Crochet.
She's she's
Watch
watching.
CNN.
Play with Scooter.
Play with Scooter. Text her son.
Text her son. All right, this is
Go to her mom's house.
I just need everyone to know this was by far my favorite question.
Ooh.
And I need to remind everybody that these were literal security questions.
Oh, no, I forgot my password. I better check the security question.
In order for me to make a profile, I had to answer these security questions. This is my favorite one. What song do you think you could have sung better than the professional singer?
I have to imagine you do have an answer to this.
I don't have an answer.
For real?
But I laughed so hard when I read that. I was like, what do you want? My diary? Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
It's an intense question.
This is data mining.
Yeah, what song do you think you could have sung better than the singer?
I want to dance with somebody for starters. Gangnam Style for seconds or starters. Mbop, the Hanson classic from the 90s for thirds. Dirty Pop is on the list. I could do it better than any of those 5.
I would probably do Sometimes by Britney Spears.
I don't know that song. I mean, I think I do.
It's a slow song.
How's it
came
go?
out after. I'm not singing it. It came out after Hit Me Baby One More Time.
So let me get this straight.
Around the same time frame.
You think you could sing it better than Britney,
But I'm
but
not
you
gonna.
don't want to do it here.
Not here. Maybe later though.
Can you say the lyrics so I know what the heck you're talking about? What's the
Sometimes I run.
Nope, that's not it.
Sometimes
I run. Right? It goes up like that.
Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I'm scared of you. All I really want
Is
to hold you tight, treat you right, be with you day and
Oh
night.
man, I'm so sorry.
It was on the beach.
That
was
was
the music
really
video on
bad
the
harmonies.
pier.
I apologize. I've never seen. Remember music videos?
Yeah, it
dog?
was on the pier
Yeah.
and the beach, and she was like in this like blue shirt and these like white pants, and she was like dancing. It's like very intense. Anyways, that's kind of a joke, but she just has a really nasally voice, so I think I could sing better than her.
Shout out to my wife, who wants to actually have me push her to finally film some music.
It'll happen, maybe.
And this is going to be one of the songs. And your requests live.
Now, just kidding.
Was
Anyways,
that your last question?
There are more, but those were the ones that I thought were hysterical and like did not match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, security questions, they're getting real intense, and they could be used as first date questions. So if you're looking for some first date questions, hit me up. I'll send you over security questions.
Or just open an account somewhere.
Yeah, and
Get
screenshot
a
those.
username. Yeah, that was wild.
Anyways,
well,
sorry I didn't make a game out of it. I should have.
You know what? I enjoyed our fake date.
That's good.
Would you come on a second date with me after this?
Maybe. You didn't really ask me a lot of questions. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably wouldn't because you didn't talk a lot.
Yeah.
You just like ask questions all the time.
Yeah. You
like
didn't
Scott.
you didn't ask me any questions. Scott. We love Scott.
Yeah, but he asked great questions.
He does ask. Oh, you mean I didn't ask? Oh, I asked great questions like he did.
like
but
Scott.
you didn't ask great questions like Scott.
Yeah.
So probably not.
Shout
but
out
I would
Scott.
tell you, yeah, of course, call me.
Don't call me. Delete my number.
Anyway, you have a story for me?
I actually have 2 stories, and hopefully we have some time. I don't know if you've heard about this, so I don't know if we can do the fill in the blank or anything.
Okay.
Did you hear what happened at Disneyland this week? Like a day or so ago? Because I could not get away
No, but I
from
did
it.
read the title, so I can't.
You can't guess.
I can't guess.
So our first story is Disneyland Park guest arrested after stripping off clothes on It's a Small World.
I actually did. I did not see this, but I saw some of the video where they were going, no, and then I went past it because I didn't know what I was going to see.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt on TikTok.
Yeah. And I was like,
Although you're probably not going to see anything.
for sure.
crazy
But
on
I was
TikTok.
like, I don't know. But they took their clothes off.
Yeah, so it gets
That sounded bad. On It's a Small World, with where the children are and they're singing It's a Small World, it sounds very bad.
So here's a little story time. As well as I've never done this, as well as some other stuff. Look, you mentioned the kid part of this.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only things I really care about in life is like not messing children up.
Yes.
And when you do something like this, you inherently traumatize children.
Yes.
So while this is a funny article, stop doing
Don't do
this.
it. Yeah.
When I was a child, Mom, this might be the first time you hear this if you listen to this episode. When I was a child, we were on a cruise one time, and I don't remember all the details, but we were in our room or going into our room.
Okay.
You've been on cruises. There's those long hallways.
Yep.
At some point, I want to turn it down if children are listening for 30 seconds. at some point, these two, they seemed a lot older to me when I was a kid because I was probably like elementary school aged,
Yeah.
like Brooklyn's age.
Dang, on a cruise. Bougie.
Yeah, we're a
I'm
little
just kidding.
bouge. Probably going down to Mexico, which is not that crazy of a cruise from Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's true.
But these two guys, I'm going to say they're probably in college,
Mm-hmm.
streaked through the hallway the opposite direction. So they were running towards each other, completely butt naked,
Oof.
high-fived each other as they passed and kept running. I forget what they said, but it was something that really stuck with me for a while. Not that
Yeah,
long.
not anymore. Yeah.
But I have this like forever image of something I should have never seen as a child.
For sure.
So
Don't
do
it.
that. Don't do that.
Don't be an
be this person. Okay, so usually I go through this and I take notes, but some of this stuff needs to be said
Verbatim?
out loud. Yes, verbatim. Okay, so we already heard what happened. This guy strips down and he's in the It's a Small World ride. It says, video of the incident went viral on social media as clips started to get shared. The first video shows the guest walking through the set of It's a Small World without a shirt on. Now, I'll put this
My
video in too,
gosh.
but you can see it right here. So here's this dude, literally shirtless, walking in the water.
So he.
In the water.
Did they stop the ride?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
It reopened around 3 p.m. that day.
What time did they close?
I don't know, but I did read the article and
All
I
right.
just wanted to prove it. Another video shows the person sitting and touching the animatronics that decorate the ride located within the Fantasyland area.
my gosh.
One park guest is heard telling the streaker to please stop and to sit down. Some of these articles, it's like, that was your quote. Your poll quote
Yeah.
was sit
So it's
down.
all they had.
As the person made their way through one of the scenes of the ride set in India, another park guest is heard worrying the person might ruin and cause damage to the props. This is wild. Look
Oh
at
my
this
gosh.
guy. He's sitting down in the Taj Mahal set where
Yeah,
they have
he
the water
is.
running down.
Yep.
He is still in his underwear at this point, but can we just agree that probably on drugs?
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
seem drunk.
He's very
Maybe a little
skinny. I don't know how to say
intoxicated.
that, but like,
He's in great shape.
like the type of skinny that you get when you are on drugs of sorts.
I don't know. Look at that guy. Pretty built. But he
So
also
he-
kind of has a Unabomber look
So
to
he
him.
walked out of the ride then? Is that what happened?
Yep. So he made it out of the ride. He's out here in public, and then of course he got detained by the Anaheim
Yeah,
Police Department.
Of course, and probably banned from Disney for forever.
Yeah. See, this is what I don't get about people. This is going to ruin your life.
100%. Because you're
Not
now
be-
considered a
sex offender.
Sex offender, yeah.
Yeah, and not just because you can't go to Disneyland anymore. You apparently shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah.
But this will haunt you forever. You are now a registered sex offender.
Because were nude in public.
and you're probably in jail.
Yeah, and there's pictures of you now nude.
Yeah, all over the internet.
Yep.
You don't come back from this.
No. There's probably something wrong with him. And I hope he gets the help that he needs. And also stay away from Disneyland.
Yeah, seriously. Keep that.
Stop it.
Take all the
Somebody
clothes
else
you
said
want
that
off
too.
in
I
your own
mean,
place.
just stop. People need to just stop doing stuff at Disneyland. I don't know why it's this big thing. A couple months
Is
ago,
it?
well, they didn't streak, but a couple months ago, someone like jumped in to like the lake area at Epcot. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, you cannot do that. So
I
why
know
are
what it's
you
like
just
to be young
ruining
and
it?
stupid, for sure.
This person was a grown
adult.
man. Yeah,
I heard it before you even
yeah.
said it.
I was like, he
Oh
was
my
a
gosh.
grown man.
But let me tell you, you can find the clips are all over social media. It's almost impossible
So
to
check
avoid.
it out at your own risk.
Yeah, I don't know if he was ever completely nude, but
I mean, he was because they had the thumbs down and he was walking with his hands over his jewels.
a lot of reasons to put a thumbs down emoji over that.
That's true.
That's just one of them.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a couple minutes left. We've got one more story that
All
I
right.
thought was very fun. A population of hard-to-eradicate super blanks in Canada is threatening to invade the U.S.
Okay, I saw the picture because it's so close to me. It's bears. No, it's cows. It's bears. Cows. Bears.
Do you know what
Moose.
farm animals are? You said you saw the photo.
I thought I did.
The answer is super pigs.
Pig,
Do you
pig,
know
pig.
what a pig looks like?
No, because I was bear. Look, okay, but stop. Look at it like that.
It's up on the screen right now.
Yeah, look at it like that. Can you see from the side angle?
It does look like
this
it
one
could be
looks
cattle.
like a cow.
Yep. Yep.
So that's why I was like, I saw it. But then I thought this was a bear. But then I saw that one. I was like, cow.
Okay.
Okay,
And maybe a little
pigs.
crocodile down there?
Yeah,
Can I tell
exactly.
you that I picked up a lizard today? I did.
I want to know when you found the time to pick up a lizard. It must have been on your way doing the laundry.
I do a lot of stuff you don't know about, like your laundry.
Thank you for doing
You're
that today,
welcome.
so I could work on my
There was
gigs.
a little itty bitty baby lizard, like smaller than the palm of my hand, which granted is a very big palm.
I just
okay?
went right back to, was it as big as Brooklyn was when Brooklyn was born? That was like that small. Just as small as palm of my hand.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the only
not
other
gonna show
time I've
that
heard you
video.
say it. I know that's
It's
the
true.
only,
That's the only way I
time
do
I've
it.
ever heard you say that.
Using the palm of my hand as a unit of measure, I only do for two things: to describe my preemie child and to describe lizards.
That's totally okay
That's it.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And lizards. That's it.
So, but I was walking. It was right in the middle of the path, and I was like, "Oh, hey, bud!" And I kind of like put my. It didn't move, so I put my foot close to it to get it to move, and it didn't. And then I put my finger, like I touched its tail, and it was like just looking at me. And then I put my finger in front of it, and I was like, "I'm too beautiful to get bit by a lizard, so I'm not going to do that." So I grabbed the tail. I was like, and it's still letting me do it. And so I pick it up, and it goes. All its legs just. And then I just moved it over into like the leaves and stuff. But I was like, bro, you're going to get stepped on over here. They're putting a new roof on the building
Yeah,
over
they're
there.
gonna
You're
throw
gonna
it on
die.
you.
Yeah, it's going to throw on you.
He
So
was thankful.
I don't,
He's probably cold or hot.
I
or
wouldn't call
something.
myself a hero, but some people are saying
That
that.
lizard would.
Yeah. No, he didn't care. I think he was ready to go.
welcome,
Anyway,
lizard.
back to the article, which is entitled "A Population of Hard-to-Eradicate Super Pigs in Canada is Threatening to Invade the U.S."
Someone gonna build a wall?
Somebody's going to build one. Biggest wall you've ever seen. No more pigs coming into this country.
They look kind of cute though.
Do they?
So where, like the Toronto side or the Vancouver side? Because it matters
So it does.
to me
matter.
at least.
It's actually more of the central part.
Still
it is. So
far
we're
enough away.
fine.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
cool.
I'm cool. Cool.
It is the Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba side,
Okay.
or portion of Canada. Let me see. There was a couple of things that I loved here. Okay, so this guy, Ryan Brook, a professor at the University of Saskatchewan in Canada.
You're nailing these
He's
names.
thank you. I'm Canadian. He's apparently the leading authority on this problem.
Wow.
Calls feral swine the most invasive
job title.
animal on the planet. And
I disagree.
an ecological train wreck.
I mean, I agree, but I'm saying they're
Name
worse.
one thing.
Locust.
Sharknadoes.
Well, locusts are real.
Oh, I thought we were going back and forth.
No, yeah, but Sharknado isn't real.
Okay.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are worse.
frogs.
I'll tell you why
Remember
these are
that?
worse, though. Oh, yeah. I think I kind of saw a follow-up to that. Remember that
Bioterrorism.
video of all those frogs in someone's toilet?
No, but do you
Oh.
think that's the follow-up video of it?
I like to think that it is. So here's what it says, though. It says, these pigs have the survival skills of wild Eurasian boars and the size and high fertility of domestic swine, and they've created a super pig that's spreading out of control. Now, you probably know this. Pigs are not native to North America, or to North America.
I mean,
you probably
is
knew that.
anything?
Some people were here before us,
I mean,
and
those people, yes.
we usually
They're
try
called-
to act like they weren't, but they were.
Yeah, they're all, yeah.
I still don't remember what that is. The
I don't know.
first
What are you talking about?
Native Americans.
Yeah,
They're called the first somethings, and I'm just so sorry. I just want to get it
first
right.
generation.
Let's go with that.
The
It's not it,
first-
though.
I know. There's a bunch of different tribes, too, that you could.
I know, but I'm not
Say,
going to
I
go
don't
there
know.
because I
I'm,
respect
we're
you
so
too
sorry
much.
that we don't know the politically correct way to say that. I apologize.
All right,
I
back to
know
the
it's
story.
not Indians, though.
First Nation.
First Nation. Yeah.
Yes. Boom.
They are native to here. But
Yes, they are.
Anything else? Everything else I feel like got brought over, including chickenpox.
I'm going to assume Buffalo was here
Maybe.
because I know that the Native Americans, I don't know if you know this. but
First
they use
generation.
First. Boy, we're great at this.
You just said it.
Yeah, first.
Nation. First.
It doesn't sound right anymore, does it?
No,
Let's just continue the
can't.
article before we dig a deeper hole here.
Oh my goodness.
Smart, adaptable, and furry, these pigs eat anything, including crops and wildlife. They tear up land when they root for bugs and crops. They spread devastating diseases to hog farms like African swine fever. Is that something you think you want to have?
No.
African
Sounds-
swine fever?
That sounds like a.
Hand, foot, mouth disease?
Oh, don't say too soon. That sounds.
I've dealt with a lot of
I
children
know,
who have had that.
That sounds like
It's a bad time.
cow disease.
Mad cow disease. African swine fever. This is like an improv comedy game where you go back and forth
I know.
making up diseases.
Sorry, I'm gonna say this. Indigenous Americans.
You looked it up and
I did.
you were like, let me interrupt
Native
to say
peoples.
it, but we weren't sure.
Native peoples. Native Americans. They're not called Native Americans. I'm looking.
Okay, I'm going to keep going with the story.
Indigenous inhabitants.
Here's the other thing about these terrible things that are spreading disease.
Yes.
They can have up to 2 litters of pigs a year, and they can have up to
Can
6 piglets in a litter.
Can any other animals do that? Maybe dogs and cats?
And lizards. I don't know the gestation periods of every animal. That's something our daughter would know. She'd be like, I saw it on YouTube
Elephants
Kids.
are like 22 months, I think.
22 months.
Maybe that's too long.
That's almost as long as a human.
There's a baby shower game that's this. Like how long is
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
But
that.
I can't remember anything.
So get this. We got a couple more facts before we get out of here. Listen to this.
Go.
Because they can have babies so rapidly, that means 65% or more of the wild pig population could be killed every year, and it would still increase.
Yeah, that's insane. So how are they
Still.
fixing the problem?
I'll get there.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, hunters are helping. They can decrease the population by about 2 to 3%, which, is chipping away at the 65%.
Oh my gosh.
Wild pigs already cause any guesses on how many dollars worth of damage a year?
Is it in the millions?
Higher.
2 billion.
2.5 billion. You really know your pig damage facts.
You know.
It was pretty good,
It's
girl.
a hobby of mine.
Mostly in southern Texas, or southern states like Texas, by the way, so no big deal. But these pigs are aggressive towards humans, and they even killed a woman in Texas once in 2019.
What?
Yes.
2019? That's not that long ago.
This is what I'm trying to bring you, the hard-hitting news. You need to know about the super pigs.
My gosh.
So this article gets sadder. It's kind of like that fancy Kit Kat article we talked about
Yeah.
a week or two ago.
When he lied, scammer.
Yeah. It says this: eradication of wild pigs is no longer possible in Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
I mean, you don't want to eradicate them.
You kind of might.
Okay.
But you can't do it in Canada. But they said that it is possible that you can prevent this problem from happening in the States. So you asked what they're doing.
Yeah, what are they doing?
I will tell you once I find it again.
2 to 3% of hunters. 2 to 3% of the pigs by the hunters. That's not enough.
You want to know?
I'm like, are they setting them on fire? I don't know why that's where I
No,
went to. But I'm like,
girl,
that's so
dang.
terrible. I just don't know. Do you trap them? You put them in a zoo?
I'll tell you, you trap them at the zoo. I don't know.
I mean, in the zoo, yeah. But
Here's what you do.
Okay.
This is the solution that they have on here.
okay.
Use big ground traps with names like Boar Buster or net guns fired from helicopters.
To catch them?
That's the solutions that we have right now.
And then what do we do with them?
Well, we also have states encouraging people to, quote, squeal on pigs. Tell on them.
Yeah. Squeal on pigs.
Just reading
Squeal
the
on 'em.
news.
Wait, but then do they kill them? Make them into bacon?
Let's
Ham?
go with that one. I mean, here's the deal. If you need to keep a population of something under control, the solution's not good. The solution isn't the pound.
It's death, for all those wondering.
But at least you go in a fun way, like a net being shot from a helicopter at you.
Yeah, what's that thing? Ah! Ooh,
Oh my
guess I'm
gosh.
caught. They're not going to die from the net, though. They're going to die from what happens after.
It's an electric net.
Oh my gosh, no,
It's
it's
not.
not.
I'm just making it up. Anyway, so those were the weird, wild stories. We've got super
Dang.
pigs. We've got streakers at
crazy.
Disneyland. We've got First Peoples. I think that's what it is.
First people, that's what you said. Yeah, first
I don't know. But we have a huge week coming up.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be back in the studio next week, but you may be joining us from our home again because it is just
Everyone's
so
sick, and I
wild.
cannot get sick. I have like 8 gigs this month.
So let's talk about what you're looking forward to this week. Speaking of the gigs and your health,
Well, we get to
hit them with it. Hit them with all the stuff.
We get to see our daughter tomorrow. I'm going to see Hunger Games on Wednesday, and my gigs start on Thursday. So I have a gig at the Roosevelt Hotel
In Hollywood,
in Hollywood on
California.
Thursday, and then the next day we fly to Louisiana for another gig. That's on Saturday. We fly home on Sunday to come back to another gig that night, and then finally get a reprieve on Monday before we get ready again to start on Thursday of the following week.
Yep, and you'll hear from us probably Monday or Tuesday. So we will be. Like,
Well, you're working on Tuesday,
no,
so.
Oh yeah, I don't know that. I
But
can say
follow
what
us
that is
along on
yet.
Hardly Working. I'll probably post some of my stuff there or on my my BMBL page
That's
on
true.
Instagram. If you want to stay up to date with what we're doing.
That's right. And I just encourage you guys, if you haven't already checked out or followed the Hardly Working Insta,
Yeah.
please do that because with this next month coming up and the new season coming up, we're really going to be asking you certain questions and
Yeah.
asking you even to send in certain things, certain
Yeah, yeah.
stories, certain things like that, especially for the holidays as we get closer and closer. We're already in them, but, the fun ones, not Thanksgiving. Although a lot of Thanksgiving love out there. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people were like, Thanksgiving's great.
Yeah, good for them.
I was texting my mom and I was like, I don't like Thanksgiving. It's awkward
It's an
small
underrated
talk and not great food.
holiday. Well, we had ham.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
good.
Ham's great. I'm talking about in general.
True,
a
true,
lot of
true.
small talk. But yeah, busy week. But we'll be coming back at you next week.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to anything other than what I said?
What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to. Oddly enough, it's been a while since I've been on the road. Most of my life
Is on the
professionally
road, yeah.
is on the road, And I'm hoping that we might find a cool spot to eat in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Now we're in Shreveport.
Bossier City, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Landing at the Shreveport Airport.
Now I've been to Louisiana many times, but it's always New Orleans. New Orleans.
Never been.
New Orleans, however you want to say it. I've been many times, and there's obviously a culture in and of itself there. But I'm hoping that we can go and just get some fun food. We can talk about it, take some video of it, whatever it is. But I'm learning to try to set little fun goals for myself, things to look forward to, because I'm really not great about that.
Hoping there's a hot roll machine.
Ooh, because we are gonna be in a casino, but I doubt there's gonna be a hot roll.
Who knows? We'll find out when we get there.
Because they have weird rules.
But they'll probably have some fun. It's called the Horseshoe Casino. I'm sure they'll have some fun restaurant or something. Why don't we're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it
If
out.
you have any suggestions, let us know.
And you're going to hear all about it. Yeah.
Yep.
If you've ever been to that place in
Bossier
Louisiana. Yeah.
It's a Caesars location.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, it might be fun. Either way, I hope you're staying healthy. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. And we'll see you back here next week. So I hope you spend most of this week
Hardly working.
Okay, we got to go.
Love
We
you.
have to catch a flight now. It's like the gigs start right now.
I'm going to make some curry. I'm going to hurry for some curry like you said
yeah,
earlier.
baby. Let's go do it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
That's Archer again. I know. What's our theme song? It's like